So, okay, let's read a little bit about the lore. So, let's see. Oi, look at that. From vacation to summer wasn't wonderful. I know I'm not ironic. I'm dead serious. This is the best vacation I had in years. Really? What's happening? Tyson, we have a release party for Gloomhaven. It's coming out in a matter of hours. Savas, Rocket Guys, Vermin, Rats, Robots Guys. Don't remember the name. That's Quadrilles, I think. Onyx, big guys with horns. Orchids, Eater Magic guys, Demon Race, whose name I can't remember. Let's go through. Here we are going to read about the different races. Oh yeah, last summer was awful. And also we have the actual board game here as well. So we will be comparing a little bit. So, should we start? Okay, up here we are in Cephalor Fair, races Gloomhaven. Orchids. Orchids are an ancient cave-dwelling race that views that happening of the world through perspective that their 1,000-year lifetimes allow. At times they can appear slow and meandering, but when something needs to be done, there is no hesitation for the orchid's life. It's about spending the proper amount of time for thought and reflection, so that the right decision can be made for exactly the right time. Because of this philosophy, an orchid can often be lost in thought for years, sitting perfectly still and meditate state where crystals begin to grow on their skin. As you can see, there's like crystals on their body. And I did watch some lore videos from Isaac here on YouTube, and he explained the longer they meditate and they spend time in a cave, they kind of nurture themselves through the earth, and more they meditate, the bigger crystals they get as well. Among their culture, they don't have really any prestige levels and such, but if they would be like prestige levels, they would show that the bigger crystals, like bigger crystals, the more you have meditated, which would have shown they have a bigger prestige, but they don't care much about it. You want a bigger text? Yeah, we can do that. So here we have the Onyx. Oh no, wait, did we get everything? Have no need for physical comfort and drop their sustenance from Earth. Hey, damn boy Gomes, thank you for the follow and welcome to the community. From Earth, just as I say, they serve little purpose in society. However, they have been known to appear exactly when society needs their assistance. So, for example, they sit there. If I phrase him correct, they could sit up to 100 years because their lifespan is over 1,000. So they can spend years after years. And then they have figured out what their purpose is. We will go and do it. And later, when they have done it, they go back to their cave and reflect. Speaking of races and characters, at the launch of Early Access, you will get 4 playable characters: Cragheart, Scoundrel, Brute, and Spellweaver. And does chat know who is who? Okay, should we play a like mini game? Where do you think? Oh, okay. Let's do it like this. We will go through all the different races. Then you have to spot who you think belongs where. Inox. The Inox are primitive and barbaric race, preferring to live in small nomadic tribes scattered across the wilderness. They subsist through hunting and gathering, scraping together a meager existence while fighting off the more dangerous creatures of the wilds. They lack in intelligence and sophistication. They make up for it with their superior strength and size. Always eager to prove themselves in a challenge, and should certainly take care in challenging an Onyx. Their society does not pay much heed to ethics or mortality. For the Onyx, it is all about survival. Kill or to be killed. Yeah, so we have time to kill. So we go through the races, then we gotta guess who belongs to where. Quadrilles. If you paid attention, you might know this one. Because of their diminutive size, Quadrilles feels they have a lot to prove. From an early age, they are encouraged to study as much as possible about many different subjects. Though they will find experts, Quadrilles in any field, they seem to have particular affinity to engineering and machinery. Their long and delicate fingers allow them to build all manner of intricate contraptions to make life easier, that augment their inferior physical strength. Though they are not numerous, Quadrilles can easily integrate themselves into a society due to their expertise in critical fields and their charming, graceful demeanor. Only a fool would shun a Quadrille's offer to help. So the Spellweaver is an Orchid, the Brute is an Onyx, the Scoundrel is a human, naturally, and the Cragheart is Savas. Bingo! Woo! There we go! Well done, Demetrius. Well done. Now you nailed it. Here we have humans. Humans are by far the most dominant of the races, spreading across the world like a plague, erecting bloated cities, disturbing the slumbering forces they can never hope to understand. The human society is one of rules and regulations, but also one of the great diversity due to their intense curiosity and relentless spirit. Humans can find themselves walking almost any path imaginable, from the obscenely wealthy noble to scoundrel living in the shadows. Look at that. From a medic dedicated to the healing arts, the corrupt pursuit of dark magics. The human kingdoms will rise and fall throughout the ages. Very few things could threaten their continued presence in the world. Fun fact, when I did listen to the lore videos that already exist, they did also mention that the humans, it says spread like a plague. They are taking up land from, for example, Inox in the north. You see, a dirty man. Welcome to the guild, man. Welcome. Embrace the heat in our sauna. So yeah, Inox is more up north. Like lore-wise, it's cold. It's fierce. Ugh! Like like a real brute. And the humans still taking up their areas. And the same goes if you scroll down to it. Also comes to wormlings, and they're taking up other people's lands. Aye. Exactly. Nice to see so diversity. And the eaters, to once be human, Esthers were an intellectual society that delved too deeply into their studies of transplanar travel. Something went horribly wrong. They now live an eternal existence trapped between the planes. And now I lost myself. Forced to forever witness infinite realities at once. Easters, I'm pronouncing that so wrong. I am blaming my speech impediment. Is to stay out of the mundane goings of the other races, and and interact as little as possible. Their thirst for knowledge, however, is insatiable and are willing to use their powers of shifting of reality to further this pursuit. With the proper concentration, they can summon anything imaginable into existence. No, I haven't got the expansion for Gloomhaven. I wanna get more done in the base game. Harrowers, and they look shady. Harrower is only the name given to this race. In the common tongue, as the name in their own language of shitters and hisses cannot be translated, a single harrower, as typically seen by other races, is actually a swarm of thousands of insects that have formed themselves into a roughly humanoid shape. These insects merge their intelligence to form a hive mind capable of highly intelligent talk. In a congregation, the insects can form sounds that roughly mirror human speech to converse with other sentient races. Though, among their own kind, harrowers are more likely to converse by simply merging their forms and exchanging fraction of their mass the experience it possesses. Though not necessarily evil, harrowers do have a poor reputation in polite society due to their nightmarish nature and a unique nihilistic perspective. Their lives are at once very fleeting due to an individual insect's short lifespan, and eternal due to the swarm's persistent, ever-breeding nature. Well, don't talk much about the class because I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, but it's great to have opinions. But for example, I don't have this class yet. So yeah, feel free to express everything about the classes, but express in such way that it won't get spoiled. So yeah, what we see here is a hive mind. And it's quite amazing how thousands of insects are gathering together and forming a human shape. Cheesy, it's releasing any hour. It's 100% anyway, so it doesn't spoil anything. Cinderella, I love you already. I never did make my Vermin Lord like I wanted. Would you still have a chance? A D&D called Vermin Lord? This sounds pretty similar and equally kick-ass. At least they look kick-ass. Who do we have here? Vollrath. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, meanwhile we're waiting for everything to happen. We are doing a little bit of lore hunting. Like, what about the races? Like, what is the background? Are they mean? Are they kind? Are they evil? We're trying to figure out the backstory of Gloomhaven. Vermin lords can spit a cone of vermin from their mouths as an attack. I asked if I could spit babies since I consider babies a vermin. I was told I could if I came up with a cool name for it. Without hesitation, shouted, "Baby shower." Shit. Ay, ay, ay. Vollrath. Demon-like qualities. Reddish skin, pointed ears, and nose, claws, horns, and a long spade-tipped tail make it feared by many. Vollraths are actually for the most part well-mannered and gentle, preferring to solve problems through diplomacy rather than violence. Lore-wise, I know Onyx is up north, it's more chilly. If you take a look at the clothes, we see we have some skin, not like a bear skin, or the pelt on the shoulders, and you see, okay, you might want to be in the northern parts of our universe. Um, when it comes to Vollrath, they are down south. It's way more hot down there. It's not much told about the backstory and lore, but there's a few Gloomhaven videos that you should go and check out. But what they told was, as just as it's stated here, it's down south, and they have the red skin because it's way more hot. Man, if it doesn't drop in the next 30 minutes, I probably have to call it a night. You could always go for a quick nap and wake up early. So, for example, if you say it comes up in 3 hours, you can take a 3 hour nap and still play. Uber Eats some energy drinks. That too. Maybe we should take a. I should brew some coffee myself. Do we have any bonus rounds? We're gonna have a shout out for She's Mr. Poof. Vollrath pride themselves on being able to integrate themselves peacefully into human society, often becoming wealthy merchants or influential politicians. They prefer to live a lavish lifestyle and wear extravagant clothing, as it helps to impress those they do dealing with. Walrats, however, do not shy away from baser violent instincts when backed into a corner. They come from a dark and bloody heritage of genocide and warfare, and as they have become more civilized, have simply made concerted efforts to put their past behind them. These efforts are in everyone's best interest, as the last thing anyone wants to see is a Vollrath in the midst of a blood rage. Blood rage! On Steam, it tried to say 1 p.m. UK time, by the way, so I guess wait a few hours. Shindarel, that's the same they did right in the Discord. But you never know. They might release it a little bit early. We never know. How's Elder Scrolls treating you, Poof? So here we have the Savas. And this is also Cragheart. Oh, by the way, do you see... this is the core. I know exactly what time it is. It's 11:33 in Finland. UK time zone is -2 hours, which is 9:30. So I would say approximately 4 hours to go. Yeah. So you could go to sleep and then wake up. So do you see him right there, right now? Do you recognize what's wrong with Cragheart? My camera doesn't want to focus. His core, Cragheart's core, have been smashed. Sad to say, he have been smashed. In the Savas culture, You dedicate your life to study nature, and not just nature, all the elements, and a true strong Savas can master all the elements. You see the different colors in here? It's like a big core, and it's like you entire Savas is like stone, but over the core it's like a little bit glassy. And if you fail with your task, you will become an outcast, and they will smash your core, so you can never truly master the elements. So that's why his core is crushed, and he's a little bit limited, and he's an outcast. Gravy, thank you so much for the host. How you doing, buddy? Also, you know what's special with these? They are completely genderless. I'll take bets if you make it. You're dedicated, so I think you will. Still enjoying it? Thinking I will start Final Fantasy? Oh, I have heard that people are having a great time with Final Fantasy. Exactly. How do they reproduce? Raise a hand if you know, because I know. Craghart have a quite painful reproduce. What should I say? They do reproduce it in a funny way. If you're a masochist or a sadist. Okay, no, it's actually a big honor for them. They have a ritual, and only the strongest Savas will do it. You have to master the elements, and only the strongest one will survive this ritual. The ritual is pretty simple. The original Savas will be completely shattered. Shattered into crumbs, pretty much. But the thing is, when during this ritual, and they become shattered into pieces. If he was strong enough, these pieces will become babies, and they are like, that's how they reproduce through this ritual. They will through the ritual get shattered, and those pieces will become new Savas. Some of you are here. I was excited to see this stream. Gravy. Did you do Pathfinder maybe? The sex is fun thing as well, by the way. Tell that to them. The Savas value power above all else. This is a severe, has rocky, uneven skin, except for their chest, which appear as smooth, transparent glass. As I told you. Beneath the surface of the glass is a manifestation of their power. Energy cores, fashioned from the elements. They have mastered ice, fire, air, and earth. Before a Savas master at least one of these elements and obtains its power as their own, they are nothing. From early age, Savas children study feverishly to gain mastery over at least one of the elements, typically spending 20 years devoted effort to do so. Particularly skilled Savas may even gain mastery of more than one element, and future up to 4 separate power cores in their chest. Such Savas are respected above all others and hold the highest position in the Savas society. The Savas look down on other races of the world, as they have no mastery of the elements and do not treat the Savas with the respect they think they deserve. They have been known to live among other races, using their elemental mastery in one form or another, but this largely frowned upon by majority of Savas as a base and primitive way to live. Like the future generations keep carrying a piece of the mightiest waters. Exactly. And now, Vermlings. Vermlings are a scavenging animalistic race. They feed the flesh of the dead. And they can't find any of that. They are more than happy to do killing themselves. Though primitive, tribal, probably, that hunt with crude knives and bows. They are small and weak-willed, so can be controlled by more powerful races. With the right combination of food and fear, left to their own devices, Vermlings form hunting packs, spend short lives fulfilling basic needs. Some Vermlings do make their way into human society, though they are largely shunned and feared in such settings, forced to live in dark alleys and feed off scraps. So yeah, that is some of those.